Okay, once again, we're back for Franchise Friday with what is so far the final film in this franchise, and that is Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Out of the Shadows, is what this is called.
I actually have the steelbook of this one, Vince. Check it out. I never did a review for the thing, but when it came out and I went to go buy it at Best Buy, they just had it sitting there. And it's a pretty cool steelbook. I like it. They're like ripping out of the cover of it. It's pretty nice looking.
And at the time, I wasn't able to get the steelbook, so I just got the regular version, but I got the one with the, of course, the Turtles masks that we are both wearing right now.
Oh, is that where they came from? I thought we were designing these masks ourselves. I mean, I made my own mask because I do that for the fans.
Well, it's kind of loose, isn't it? Mine is. It's about to fall off.
Yeah, mine's barely on. So but the good thing is we use staples to put them on for the in the back of our head. So we do that for the fans too.
The frickin' thing's about to fall off, Dave. I'm sweating under this.
So if you watched our last review last Friday for the new Turtles movie, you know how much I love this. I loved it. And so when this one actually came out, believe it or not, I didn't get a chance to go see it in the show. And it was one of those summers that it came out, or whatever month it came out, that I was just busy that whole month. And you know, if you don't go see the movie, a first month it comes out, it's gone. So you have to rush out to go see the thing. And every time I wanted to go see it, I got something else I had to go do and didn't get a chance to go see it. So I was like, all right, I'll just get it when it comes out on Blu-ray, which I did. And again, this is the second time I've only ever watched this movie. What? You still there?
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't say anything. What? I was listening to you.
I thought I heard you yelling about something.
No?
So go ahead.
Okay. Well, mostly the reason I've gone to see the Ninja Turtles movies here lately, other than the fact that I do like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is my son Brian. My son Brian really got into the Ninja Turtles. He still likes the Ninja Turtles. He still likes watching them, and every time they're on, he watches them. He likes the whole story of the Ninja Turtles. So it's been kind of a resurgence for me as well. I mean, to go and see these films. So when this one came out, I was like, well, I'm going to have to take my son Brian to go see this because he's a Ninja Turtles fan as much as I am. So we both went and saw this, and about the only thing I can say about that is that we didn't have the greatest of experiences watching it because I sat there, and I'll give you a little, it's a short story, it's nothing big, so little short story. The movie starts, we get about 20 minutes into the movie. These three people come in, these two adults and their kid, and they come in and they're squeezing by, and they squeezed by us and sat down right next to me, and the mom, I guess, sat down right next to me, and she sits down and she leans over to me and she goes, "Is this the movie? Is this the movie, or is this the trailers? Is this?" And she said it really loud, and I'm like, "No, it's the movie." She goes, "Oh, it's in the movie now?" "Yeah, this is the movie." "Oh, okay. How long has it been playing?" I mean, she's like asking this like right out loud in front of, like she was sitting in her own living room or something. And she's like, and I'm saying it to her, I'm like, it's, I'm whispering it. I'm like, "It's been on for about 20 minutes. And she's like, 20 minutes? Really? 20 minutes? I'm like, "Yeah." So then she finally quiets down and she starts, watching the film. And then her husband is like, "Well, give me the, they're over there talking. Give me the goobers. I want the jujubes. No, give me the Twizzlers. I need to." So then he starts opening up his candy. And I'm like, "Really?" So there was a portion of this film I couldn't even hear because of all this. I missed just a small portion. And it was mostly during the part where Casey Jones finally comes into the thing. So they're doing this, and they're crunching on candy and all this stuff. Then about 10 minutes later, her freaking phone rings. She hadn't even turned off her phone. Her phone rings, and she answers it. And she's like, "Hello? Well, I'm in the movie. I'm in the movies right now. I'm in the movie. And I'm like, she's in the movie? No, you're not in the movie. Yeah, you're in the movie. You're talking through it, you know? So there was parts of this I missed because of that. And then she finally, this is what I really didn't get. They come in 20 minutes late, and then when they finally left, was like maybe 30 minutes later. They finally get up and they walk out, and I figured, okay, well, they're probably going out to go to the bathroom or something, you know? No, they walked out of the movie. I'm like, really? You spent 30 minutes, and I missed 30 minutes of this movie.
You know, I've had that happen a lot, actually. I've gone to the movie theater, and somebody would come in and sit down and watch a movie for 20 minutes and get up and leave. Or they get up like 10 minutes before it's over. And that just happened when I went to go see the last Strangers movie. These people came in late, and probably 10 minutes before it was over, they just got them left. And I was like, okay, it wasn't that great of a movie, yeah, but I mean, it says 10 minutes. I guess they think that they're at the ball game and they need to get out before the traffic hits or something. I don't know. It's like it's a movie, you know, stay till the end.
So, I didn't mind them leaving because they were just making noise the whole freaking time they were sitting there. So I didn't mind them leaving, but at the same time, it was like you showed up 20 minutes late and then you leave 20 minutes early, you know?
Back to the movie now. So again, I did not go see this in the show. For whatever reason, I didn't have the time, so I bought it as soon as it came out. And this one, while the first one was sort of reserved, like, you know, they were just trying to make it like the Turtles. They didn't want to go crazy with it. This one, I think they're like, okay, let's throw everything against the wall. Let's see what sticks, and what doesn't stick, we'll still put in the movie anyway. It's like, everything is in this movie. Everything is in this film.
What I really actually enjoyed about this movie, and I will say that wholeheartedly because I enjoyed this movie so much more than the first one. And it's because they actually were able to take not only what they did with the first one and kind of make it sort of like the comic book again, but they also, once again, were able to mix the cartoon in with it, and it went well. I actually enjoyed this one a whole lot more than I did the first one.
This is basically the cartoon. This is it. This is the Saturday morning cartoon that they did with this. It has Krang in it, it has Bebop in it, it has Rocksteady in it, it has Casey Jones in it, and April O'Neil's back. I mean, everything that was, I thought, and again, you know, if you ever watch any of our other reviews, for the second one, I always thought Rocksteady and Bebop were in the second movie. So when they showed up in this one, they're like, oh, well, they're doing this again. But they never showed up. This is the first time they were ever in one of the Turtle movies.
And yeah, exactly. They put all these characters in there. They put Rocksteady and Bebop in there, who were fantastic, by the way. But they also added Baxter Stockman, too, which I thought was great.
The only thing they didn't put in here, which I was expecting him to, was the Mousers that he created. So that was like the only thing that was not in this film was the Mousers.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I always liked them, too.
Baxter Stockman is one who created those as well. But again, this was just everything. Everything that every Turtles fan wanted to see for the last, 35 years or however long it's been since the last movie. This is it. I mean, they threw everything in this movie, and it was spectacular. It was amazing. And again, they got a great person to play Casey Jones, and that's Stephen Amell from Arrow. He got to play Casey Jones in this movie. He did a spectacular job, and the story was fun. The characters, again, it was funny. The CG was just off the chain in this movie. I can tell you, the Krang looked incredible in this movie.
Yeah, he did. I love the way that Krang looked. And speaking of that, okay, speaking of the look of the Turtles, I actually liked the way they looked in here a little more than I did in the first one, because in here it seemed like someone, maybe it was all the people that complained about the way they looked, like me, that complained about the way they looked in the first film. I think they went back and said, okay, let's not make them look as human as they did in the first one. And it looked like they actually tweaked them down a little bit, so they looked a little more like turtles and a lot less like humans. So they fixed that. And if they would have done that to begin with in the first film, I think I would have enjoyed it a lot, the first film, a lot more, the way the turtles looked.
I don't know. They look the same to me. I don't think they look any different.
They're different. There is a difference in it. It's like the stuff that was just overblown in the first one. They just kind of, I don't know. They took them down somewhat, took them down a notch, and made them look more like the turtles.
And unlike the first one too, the first one was, even though it was funny and it had comedy in it, it was still trying to take itself somewhat serious. No, not in this movie. Everything is, again, it's just they threw it up against the wall and like, oh hey, that's crazy. Let's put that in the movie because it makes no sense. It's ridiculous. Let's put it in the movie. I mean, stuff like that. It's just great. I mean, and again, now my wife and I are back watching wrestling, so we know all these wrestlers. And one of the guys that played, I think it was Rocksteady, is actually a wrestler, and that's Sheamus. He was the guy with the red hair.
Yeah.
That's a wrestler. I was like, oh, what's Sheamus doing in this movie? You know. But and then the other thing they did really well with this was Shredder. Did a great job with Shredder. He wasn't in a cybernetic outfit through the whole movie, which I loved in the first movie. But yeah, he was an actual person in this movie, and I thought that was really good too.
I thought that was excellent in this movie. I'm glad they did that. Because it made Shredder the mean person, the evil guy that he was to begin with. He didn't have all this stuff there. You know, he did have his knives, but I loved it. They toned it down, and even with Shredder, they toned it down so that it wasn't so much, and it was so over the top in this one. And maybe that's also because they were adding so much. They were adding Krang, and they were adding so much from the cartoon. You know, maybe they were like, well, we're going to be overblown with that, so let's tone down the other stuff. And they did. I enjoyed it a whole lot more. The only slight complaint is, once again, they went into the origin of the turtles. Once more, they did that, but it's not as bad as in this one as it was in all the other films.
And that big action sequence in the beginning when they break out Shredder from the van. Oh my God, just so freaking cool. They got these motorcycles, they have the red lights on them, and they're coming in there, and they got, you know, the magnets, and they're jumping on the truck, and then they got the Turtlemobile, and then, you know, Michelangelo has a freaking nunchucks, and he's swinging them, like these big arms that kind of, I said that, it's just crazy. It's crazy fun, and it worked, because it's a Turtles movie, and it's supposed to be kind of fun, and wow, I loved it. I absolutely loved this movie. I think I even loved it more than the first one, to tell you the truth. Or the last one. Or, you know what I'm talking about. Like
you're saying, I mean, I had so much fun at this one. It was, aside from the people that were sitting next to me, I did have a lot of fun with this film. I mean, it was a lot more enjoyable. And then when I sat down and actually got to watch it on Blu-ray, yeah, I got to pick up on all the stuff I missed. And most of it was Casey Jones. That was mostly what I was missed, because that's where these people were. Going back and watching it and seeing Casey Jones, I loved Stephen Amell doing Casey Jones in here. It was fantastic.
This is the Turtles cartoon that everybody wanted, that everybody, wanted to see. And the thing with this, Vince, is, and it really upset me when this was over. When the movie was over, I'm like, you know what? I'm kind of angry. I'm kind of mad, Vince. I'm really mad right now.
What were you mad at, Dave? What, pray tell, could you have gotten upset with the Turtles, since you liked them so much?
I'll tell you. Since you asked, I'll tell you, Vince. Because there hasn't been another Turtles movie since this one. And because this one lost money. Nobody went to go see it. They made the first one, which everybody hated, they didn't like, even though it made $500 million. This one didn't make that much. It still made, like, over the budget of what it cost to make it. It made, like, $200 million. But according to them, there was a failure because it didn't make as much money as the first movie. And even though it was successful and it made the money back that it cost, it didn't make, $300 billion more than it cost to make the movie. It's a failure. And I think a lot of people didn't go see it because of the first one, and they missed out how great this movie was. And because of that, there hasn't been another Turtles movie, and I doubt they're going to make another one because of it not doing that well.
Well, as we've seen, and especially going over all these reviews, as we've seen, you know, there's like long stretches of time between each Turtles film, so you can't necessarily count them out because who knows, in another 10 years there might be another one. And once again, they'll go into the origin story.
And it makes me upset that, of course, they're going to make another one eventually. And what are they going to do? They're going to reboot it. They're going to have new-looking turtles again and new characters. But this is what I love. I love these movies, and it made me upset that we're probably not going to get another one of these.
I agree with you. I actually agree with you to a point. It does, yeah, that makes me upset that we're not going to see what happened at the end of this because, you know, because of Krang and the whole thing. I mean, I wanted to see more of this. I waited all this time to get to a movie like this, and now I'm not going to see, you know, you're not going to end it off. You're not going to at least make it a trilogy of some sort.
I'd be happy with that. I would be happy with 3 of these movies and then go back and reboot it. So I actually looked it up on the internet to see, are they making another one? What happened to this thing? And apparently the rumor is they are making another one. That was the first rumor. And they had a name for it, but I can't remember what it was. And then the other rumor I've been hearing is they're going to try to go back to a CG film again, like the 4th one, rather than do a live action thing. And if they do that, I will be pretty freaking mad if they did that.
Yeah, I would too, because like I said in the TMNT Turtles film, or Turtles 4, or whatever you want to call it, the animated one, I said when they announced that they were going to make it animated, I was like, well, I really wanted to see a live action Turtles film. And then when Michael Bay did this last film, the first film of the Ninja Turtles, and made it a live action, I was excited about that. And to see this one and see another live action film, I was excited about that because of this. It's not that I didn't like the animated one. I did like the animated one, but if I want to watch a cartoon of the Ninja Turtles, I can turn on Netflix and watch it. I can turn on YouTube. I can turn on Nickelodeon. I mean, you can catch a cartoon Ninja Turtles anywhere. So to get a live action one is kind of a treat for me. I actually enjoy that a lot more.
Especially when it's done this well. And again, the clarity of this movie is just like, it just makes your eyeballs want to melt. It looks so good. The details, the textures, everything. Oh my God, this movie looked good. And this was only in Blu-ray. It wasn't even in 4K. I mean, this is what a 4K movie looks like. Wow. The whole time I was sitting there, I was just stunned by it. I was like, man, this movie looks amazing. Man, those turtles look great. Holy crap, Krang looks good. And again, I'm upset that I don't get to see this again.
I just liked it overall. I liked it. I thought the story was better. I thought the look of the turtles was better. I thought the look of Krang was outstanding. I thought the look of Shredder was much better. I liked what they did with him much better. I loved what they did with Casey Jones. I loved this movie. I actually loved it. Loved it. I loved it a whole lot more, 10 times more than the first one.
So overall, one thing, I'll give the rating and then I'm going to talk about. I did watch a few of the extras on here. I didn't watch all of them, but I did watch a couple. And they're pretty interesting. Actually, they're not bad.
Yeah, I watched them too.
And I want to talk about that after the rating. But again, the first one of this series of the live action, I loved. I'm probably the only person who loved it. I loved it from beginning to end. And this one just amped it up. It went from, for me being a 10 to a 12. It was that good. And if you're watching this and you're one of those people who are like, oh, it's stupid, they ruined my childhood, go watch this movie. It is so good. It's so fun. This is what made the Turtles fun when they became animated. This was it. And this is the movie. And because of that, it's going to get the bomb!
I can finally say that there is a Ninja Turtles movie that I liked just as much as the original Ninja Turtles movie that came out in the 90s, and it's this film. And for that reason, I would actually give this movie the bomb!
So as for the extras, again, I didn't watch all of them. I watched a couple of them on here. And because again, I was so stunned on how amazing this movie looked I was like, how did they do this? How did they make this movie look as good as they did? And for whatever reason, I was like, how did they even make the turtles? I said, I didn't understand that either. How did they make them look so cool and so great? What they did was they had live actors playing the turtles. So when they were on the set, all 4 of these guys were real people, and they were on the set acting. And it's just like Andy Serkis in the Apes movies that he does such a phenomenal job with, is they're wearing these black suits and actually have turtle shells on the back of them. And they got all these cameras pointed right at their face. So when they're talking, the animators see their expressions. So even though there's CG in the movie, these are the actors portraying these, and the emotions and the feelings and the voices and all this stuff is coming from real people. It's not just somebody going, oh, let's make their eye a little bit bigger. Oh, a little bit too big. Nah, let's close. It's the actors. That's what makes this movie so good. And it was cool to see that. It was really cool. They were showing all the individual actors, and like Raphael's this big buff guy. I mean, he's super buff. And Donatello is this real little skinny guy, real tiny skinny guy, and you could tell that from the role from the movie.
Well, I was also going to mention, because you mentioned Andy Serkis and all that. Andy Serkis, of course, also plays Supreme Leader Snoke in Star Wars, where they did the same exact thing. They put him in this motion capture suit and point the cameras right at his face. And the same thing in the Apes movies. The same thing with Maz Kanata from Star Wars. The Cantina lady in Star Wars.
Well, they did the same thing with King Kong in the King Kong movie. That was also Andy Serkis.
And it's pretty much all Industrial Light and Magic doing all of that. So this is something they've perfected now at this time. But when they were doing this movie and the first film, I think it was just, at that point, it was just they were going... They already had motion capture, but they were going farther with it. And they were doing more with it. And they were adding more to it. Like putting the little dots all over their face and everything, instead of having just the great big ping pong balls all over the suits. So they actually perfected it even more in these 2 films. And now it's even more in going into Marvel, going into Star Wars, going into all of the films that they do all these CGI whatnot to all these characters.
Yeah, it's actually a pretty good selection of extras on this. So if you're ever wondering how they made the turtles, they will show you in this movie. And again, I can't talk.
And that's pretty much the first featurette right there, is them explaining how they did the turtles.
And then I believe, didn't the music come on at the end, and it was the actual music from like the TV show, like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Heroes on a Hat, when they were doing that, right?
They played that, but then they had, what was it, Wiz Khalifa, I think his name is, who did a music video for his song for the Ninja Turtles, and then he had like a behind the scenes making of it, and which was kind of useless.
Well, I thought the end song was actually pretty good. I liked that even. I even thought they did a good job with a mixture of that too.
Yeah, the song wasn't too bad. It was all right, but I just found it weird is that they showed the video and then they have a making of the video, and the making of the video really wasn't anything. It was just them just hanging around and showing him, get up in front of a green screen or whatever he was doing and just rapping. That's pretty much all it is. It's kind of useless.
Alright, so there you go. We finished the franchise for the Turtles. All 6 movies. And we made it through all 6 of them. So hopefully you guys also made it through all 6 of them, because we are going to try to continue doing Franchise Fridays as long as we can. We have plenty of franchises to go through, trust us. We would never run out of them. But, yeah, I mean, I enjoy this. I really enjoy going back and watching all these old films and re-experiencing them all over again. And the Turtles was just that. It was so much fun, even getting through the terrible third one. It was fun, and that's why I do this. It's because it's fun.
Yeah, exactly. That's the whole reason to do this. Is it's fun. And I hope that all of you out there, all you maniacs out there, find it just as fun as we do. And, take our suggestions. Go back and watch this film again. And reintroduce yourself to the Ninja Turtles. Because why not? Dave and I did. Why not you?
And introduce you. Not got a real good segment here, Beth. Or I got a really good follow-up to that. Reintroduce yourself to us, or introduce yourself to us by leaving comments below and hitting the subscribe button and becoming one of the Turtle Maniacs on the site with the rest of the Maniacs that we got here.
Exactly. Subscribe to us and leave your comments and your feedback, and we'll try to answer it as soon as we can or quickly as possible, whatever. We'll answer it at some point, and hit the notification so you know when we post something else and post new videos and stuff. So keep coming back, keep sticking with us, because we're going to have more to come. Because we just do that. Because what else?
I gotta pee some back, so hang on.
So while Dave goes pee, we'll all say goodbye.